Good evening, folks. Welcome back. Weekly the face. Fire Frank here. Charlie, I can never point. He's over here somewhere. We're live for sure on this December 19th, 2023. Just days from Christmas. So we've had a busy month.
Indeed.
Actually, just 2 weeks ago, me and Charlie got to hang out for once in person at Deadline, like we talked about. Charlie had a very busy day on that Saturday, December 1st. Maybe you'd like to tell him about your long day, Charlie. Go ahead.
I woke up super early in the morning, drove to Albany to meet Cody Rhodes, and then I drove from Albany to Connecticut to meet Frank at Deadline. It was awesome.
Yeah, so you had to wait. He's not mentioning how the long wait to meet Cody. I know that was a heck of a long day for him. But how was he? Tell the audience. How was it meeting Cody?
He called me baby. It was awesome.
He called you baby. Must be a Dustyism. Sounds like something Dusty would say. Yeah, that must have been pretty cool. That's great. I didn't get to do that, but I did make my way up to Bridgeport. Not a lot going on in Bridgeport, I got to say. Last time I went there 4 years ago for NXT, we went to this cool burger joint over there, but it's closed now. We went, so me and my friends are walking around. There's really not much going on. Found a pizza spot and hung out there for a while. Then ran up to the arena while we waited outside. Me and my friends got there early. Charlie was still on his way, like he said. So we were hanging out. We got to meet Vic Joseph. He came outside to say hello to everybody. So that was pretty cool. First he walked by. He was like fist bumping the glass, and then he came outside and take pictures and talk to everybody. So that was pretty cool. Really tall guy, really big guy. Did not expect him to be that tall.
How tall?
He was pretty tall, like to a great, like he was taller than me for sure, but like much taller than I thought he was.
Oh wow,
very nice guy too, very personable. So that was cool talking to all the fans. So a lot of us were waiting there, like I said. And Charlie running late. I got inside first. We had a skirmish to get him inside with the ticket. We got it in, and we got to sit down. We had great seats. We were right behind the stage, so we got to see everybody as they came out. So that was pretty cool. But because it was the way the set was was small enough where like we were right on top of the ring, even though we were right there next to the stage. So it was really awesome seats. And it was a great show. Yeah, it was better than we probably even expected, I would say. Definitely. The Survivor matches were great. The men's is probably one of the best matches of the year, I'd say.
It was unpredictable.
Yeah. I know we had our predictions going, and we guys, if you watched this 2 weeks ago, we were kind of got a wrench thrown in when our North American title match got changed. We did not know. Seconds after we going off the air, I find out that Wesley was injured. We had a cool replacement, Dragon Lee, Rey Mysterio out there, Booker T driving nuts on commentary. I did watch it back. That was pretty fun. Pretty fun show. Unpredictable for sure. No, I don't think anybody was picking Blair to win the women's, but she did. But a good match. Everybody looked good in that. Even I thought Lash Legend really stood out doing her power stuff. It was probably the best she's looked. I mean, I think they found what to do with her. She's good at that stuff. That's what you got to build around. She can do that strength stuff really well. I thought everybody looked good. Everybody got a shine. It was pretty wild. Watching that match live is pretty crazy. When you're in the arena, it's kind of tough to keep track, especially since we like I said, we were next stage, so we couldn't see the screen, so we couldn't see the scoreboard. So I'm sitting there trying to like, how many falls are you? How many falls? Charlie? Poor Charlie was struggling to stay awake because he was so tired, but he made it through. But it was pretty hectic. And then the men's match, even more hectic. That finish with Trick, we did call it, but he made it close. It was 3 minutes ago. He was at 0 falls, and the timing was perfect. Braun came in and was spearing everyone. It was pretty crazy. Trick, what a star! He got the biggest reaction tonight, I'd say, wouldn't you say?
Oh yeah,
like he's like the crowd had him as like the top star in the building. Crazy. Even all the way back to the train, everybody was with the whip that Trick chance. Man, it's over. It's not. At this point, honestly, he's probably surpassed Mello as far as.
And we saw an old WWE truck with Edge, Jeff Hardy, and who else was on it?
Oh, Claudio Cesaro was on it. We had the Lucha House Party was on another truck. Some of those trucks needed some touching up. They did have a WrestleMania truck for Philly that was pretty cool. But yeah, those trucks were pretty interesting. I guess they gave them. I guess nobody was going to see it, but geez, guys. Can we at least cover them up? I know we've seen that in the past, but it was pretty funny. Like, what show did I go to? Is this Dynamite? Is this NXT? But Yeah, it was a fun show. Like I said, I haven't been to an NXT show in 4 years, but this was a pretty fun PLE. Those Survivor matches were a lot of fun, like we said. And then Corbin and Dragunov was pretty good too. I know a lot of people don't like Corbin, but I thought he held up his own in this main event. Watching it back on TV, I thought I liked it even more. Second time, yeah, it was pretty fun. The Corbin on his motorcycle, and my poor friend John Cena, who almost got told he couldn't come back. He was going to grab a soda.
Yeah.
Baron Corbin held him up. It's a story you could tell. Baron Corbin held him up coming back because he had to make his entrance. Then some other guy, whatever production dude, jumped on the bike and we're like, "Oh, he's stealing the bike," and he took off. Yeah, I mean, he rode it. I mean, he couldn't ride it full blast because, like I said, not a big arena, but it was pretty packed in there. They had, I think, it was over 5,500 people. Say, minor league hockey arena in Bridgeport. It's a nice little place. They've actually had Raw there before, but it's where the Bridgeport Islanders, which is an affiliate of the New York Islanders, play. It was pretty packed in there. The only thing I could say about this, they needed more. They had one merch line, which was a problem, and everything else was packed going through those halls like this. So. But other than that, we had a great time, and that was cool. Yep. So, anything that's sticking out to you on what's going on right now? I know we're going to go into NXT tonight. They did pre-tape the next 2 weeks of NXT. Everybody's on a holiday break. After last night's Raw, I think there's no shows until the 26th. I think, yeah, because even SmackDown was taped, so they're getting a well-deserved week off.
Last night's Raw was all filler.
What's that?
Last night's Raw was like, I don't know. You could tell it was a holiday Raw.
I mean, I thought they had some higher quality than usual matches for the like you said, the last Raw for Christmas. I thought we did it. I mean, the main event tag title match was really good. Creeds obviously are great. A lot of people are getting the chance to see them now for the first time, and they're shining. I thought that was a really good match, especially the last maybe 10 minutes of that match was pretty nuts. And I'd say the Gunther Miz match far surpassed their Survivor Series match.
Yeah.
It was like 21 minutes. It was maybe Miz's best match ever, probably, you'd have to say. But they got the crowd. The crowd was like really wanting him to win. And they were buying into him getting that near falls at the end. So I thought it was a standout match. So yeah, there was a little filler in there, but we had, like I said, 2 strong matches. Raw, at least, it's always going to take, it's a long show. It's 3 hours, right? But lately, the way they've been pacing, it's been a lot better. And probably, I'd say it's better than SmackDown the last couple of months. Not that I don't enjoy SmackDown, but Raw is actually, even with the extra hour, they're filling it in with a lot of different people. R-Truth, of course, newest member of the Judgment Day, well-deserved.
Maybe I'm bitter because CM Punk wasn't on it.
Yeah, maybe. I guess they had to give him a week off too. He has been announced for a lot of. He's doing house shows coming up next week. So starting here at MSG.
At MSG.
CM Punk. Who would have guessed? First match, almost 10 years in WWE. CM Punk against Dirty Dom. MSG.
Nice.
If it wasn't a work night, I don't know. It's kind of tempting. His first match back here in 9 years against Dom. That should be something. I'm sure we'll get that on TV at some point if they're doing this match. I like how they're playing off online right now. Dom with the posting different stuff, referencing when he was a kid and Punk came out saying happy birthday to his sister. Yeah, so that's going on. Yeah, actually, so they're off till Tuesday. And I think there's 2 shows that night. One here, I think the other one's in Baltimore. I want to say or Detroit. They're doing a lot of double shows. Obviously, the A roster will be in New York probably that night, but they're doing a couple big house shows coming up that week, and then after that we go back setting up the first week of the year. We got 3 big shows actually. They're rebranding that first Raw of the new year as Day One, like the pay-per-view we had a couple years ago, which is a smart idea. The big Drew Seth title match on there. NXT's got New Year's Evil with the title matches on there, and then I think they're even making a big SmackDown of it too. So yeah, it's gonna be a big week coming out of the new year, which I think is a smart idea. Yeah, so next week Raw will be like probably be some sort of best of the year special. So hey, whatever. They looks like they did a pretty good number last night too. Their second best number during football season. So hey, even without Punk, they're able to hold their own. Yeah, so that's going on. AEW is still setting up World's End. We'll try to be back with a preview maybe sometime next week, although we don't have a full card yet because, of course, we don't. They had to go through that Ring of Honor pay-per-view last week that lasted something like 5 hours with the pre-show for some reason. I heard there was a couple good matches on the show. I don't know if anybody's seen it. I did not yet, but we'll figure out what it's going to be added to this card. Whoever this devil is and his gang of Putty Patrol members.
Putty.
It's the best way you can put it. I don't know. Like, I don't think anyone they reveal is going to make this any better. I've heard people say maybe it's multiple people. I said you could have multiple people. I don't think there's literally one person that it could be that actually can save the storyline, unless Punk was really sticking around and was going to be in. Obviously, that's not the case. So, yeah, I don't think Jack Perry is going to light the world on fire, or Britt Baker. Whatever. Every name I've heard so far, it's like, just stop it already. Although MJF making around stays claiming that he still doesn't have a new contract. We don't know how true that is, but he is saying that. If that's the case, I don't know if he'll be coming out of that show with the title still if it's expiring the next day. But we'll see about that. Yeah, so that's what's going on right now. It's been a crazy year, and as you see below, it's time for our second annual Weekly Wrestling Awards for this past year. What a year it's been. Crazy year. Started in January with the return of Vince. We had talking about selling the company, which did go through in April. Well, actually it went through in September, where it was announced after Mania at the sale of Endeavor. So that was going on. We had what was going on in January? A lot of stuff. Punk was still away from AEW and months from coming back there. So it's weird we were talking about this year. We had Bray Wyatt coming back and having the Mountain Dew match, and then unfortunately we never saw him again. A crazy year for sure. But let's talk back and let's see if you guys agree with what we're going to say here. I know last year we were pretty much on the same page. I think what did we have last year? I think most of our top three, or at least me and JML's top three, was all three members of the Shield, if I recall correctly. I think I had Seth as my number one wrestler last year. Let's go through it this year then. I know we did Rookie of the Year last year, but I don't know. I'm sorry to insult anybody on the indie scene anywhere else. I don't really have a great choice for that, so we're probably going to skip that this year. So in its place, I'm going to introduce we didn't do feud of the year, did we? Okay, so in its place I'm going to put the pay-per-view /PLE of 2023. This could be any company, any brand. We're talking WWE, AEW, Impact, New Japan. I know you guys know we don't watch that, but if you guys watch it, any of these promotions, indies, whatever it is, we're going to put it all together. Really, it's just the big two, probably, since I know Charlie hasn't watched a lot of Impact or any of this various indies going on or anything like that. So we're going to probably stick to that. So, Charlie, what would be your pick for your pay-per-view /PLE of 2023? Could be anyone. You want to add some special mentions, you go right ahead, but think about it.
I guess I'd have to go with night one of WrestleMania.
Night one of WrestleMania, okay.
Before WrestleMania shit the bed this year.
I don't think it did. It's just people got upset at the finish of night two. But night one has been actually lately been the better of the two nights since we've gone to two nights, probably.
Yeah.
Although I thought night two we did have one of the best matches of the year with the Gunther Drew Sheamus triple threat. We also had poor Shane McMahon tearing a quad. And some various other stuff going on. And poor Finn Balor eating a lot of stitches after that Hell in a Cell match. Geez, it seems like 2 years ago now. We had Finn Balor and Edge at this year's WrestleMania. Crazy, right? So you're going with night one WrestleMania, okay?
Yeah.
Not a bad pick. I'm sure it'll be on a lot of people's lists. It's definitely one of the ones I remember most this year. Yeah, so there's a couple ones this year that I liked. Even some of these NXT specials have been pretty good, but I do think night one WrestleMania is up there. I'll be fair though. I'll go by, as far as like best bell to bell as well. I mean, WrestleMania is always gonna be up there. I'll be the contrarian here, and I'm gonna throw out a show that had no hype at all, but it turned out to be one of the probably the best shows of the year, and the one I'm gonna pick here, which was All Out. Okay. Yeah, no, a week after All In, which I thought All In was pretty fun, but a lot of people didn't like it. The big crowd atmosphere helped. But All Out a week later was pretty much bell to bell, pretty strong. I have to give it to him.
Yeah,
I'm being fair here. Some of the shows in AEW show that not that they've ever put on a bad show, but some of them have had some rough spots in between. But I thought All Out was pretty much consistent throughout the show, and that's why I'm picking it here. We had finished off with Moxley against Orange Cassidy, the first match, which I thought was way better than their second match that they had. And that was a pretty strong main event. So I'm picking all out. I'm being fair, but lest anyone say I'm biased here, but I'm giving it the fair, honest answer here. That's what I'm going to pick. But yeah, WrestleMania Night 1 definitely would have been on my top 3. Maybe even Forbidden Door, because I was there live. That probably helped. So that would have been up there. But I'll go with All Out. It's a lot of people are probably thinking that this year. So that's where we're going. Okay, let's move on. What else we got here? Oh, I added a new category we didn't talk about last year. Feud rivalry of the year. Who do you got?
Rivalry of the year. Ooh. This year had a lot of good ones.
Yeah, I know. That's why I said that's a good thing to add here. What do you? It's yeah. You can give me a couple if you want. If you want to give me some honorable mentions, top right.
This year had Sami Zayn and Roman,
right?
Cody and Brock, which was fantastic. Only because of how enthralled and the timing of it was and all of that, I got to go with Sami and Roman.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that was built up even before this year. This was going on for like maybe 9-10 months for it.
Yeah, it was really fun.
Yeah, for sure. I know a lot of people were upset Sami lost, but I mean, it was well done the way it was done. It was very close. It was probably one of the best Roman title defenses where it got, you had a reasonable thought to think, wait, maybe it could happen. Even though it made no sense. Montreal, I mean, it was like crazy. And if he had one, I think the place would have blown the roof off for sure. We did get a payoff later from that. We did get Sami and Kevin reuniting. I thought it might happen at that show. It did not. But yeah, that was a good one for sure. As far as my pick, yeah, that was a really good one for sure. Several I thought this year were very good, but you know what? I'll disagree. I'll agree with you there. Sami and Roman. Maybe Sami versus the Bloodline period. This year for sure, because it did continue. Like I said, it continued into the tag ranks, and that thing ran pretty much all the year. It was pretty much those guys, the Usos, of course. It was all part of the major story going throughout the year. I know a lot of people didn't like that Roman still has a title, but we did have so many stories more to tell, and we went through all those this summer, including the Usos finally splitting. Yeah, so I'll agree with you there. Some other stuff I could have mentioned. We had a couple of good rivalries, but I mean, you had Swerve and Hangman, obviously, with those crazy matches they've had. We've had, Cody against a bunch of people. Cody versus the Bloodline. Cody versus Judgment Day was pretty much one of the big feuds of the year, or Sami and Kevin against them. But yeah, I'll go with you. We'll go Sami and Roman. That'll bring us to our tag team of the year. Last year was just really heated. Charlie, I don't think he still has not forgiven me because me and JML picked the FTR over the Usos. But this year, I don't think the Usos are going to make it. Although they did team for half the year, maybe they could still make it. They're still eligible. So if you want to do that, I would. Anybody good? I mean, the Creeds are having a good year. Pretty Deadly went up to the main roster. What are we thinking, Charlie? Who are you picking this year?
Tag team this year.
It's not as obvious this year, so anything you throw out is fine. And again, Chad, thanks for all the support out there. We appreciate you.
You know what?
Joining us.
You know what?
What's up? Go ahead, Charlie.
Fuck everything.
Go ahead.
Deadly.
Pretty Deadly. All right. Hey,
I
I'll take
love
that.
Pretty Deadly. I love Pretty Deadly.
I knew you would. When they came up, I said, Charlie, he wasn't really watching NXT. I said, you're going to like these guys. And I thought they'd be the perfect. I said, no, listen, if they go to the main roster, they'll be just fine because they're like tailor-made for the main roster. And they've even added more to it. Now the entrance has got a disco ball. The theme music has changed. It's really, if it wasn't for, even with the injury, they were able to make something out of that. Yeah, I love Pretty Deadly. I don't mind you choosing them. Yes, it was tough. FTR is always going to be on the list this year. I think they were kind of down from the year before. As far as the independent scene, I'm a big fan of Main Event. They've had a great year down in House of Glory, so they're definitely on my list. It was tough because who was a real dominant team this year? Judgment Day's obviously had the belts lately. I'm probably just going to say Sammy and Kevin just because they were pretty dominant tag champs.
See, that was my obvious pick because
So I'm just going to go obvious, but I'm glad you picked Pretty Deadly.
Night one of WrestleMania. They had a
They main evented several papers. They main evented in Saudi against Roman and Solo.
They had a decent reign with the tag team championship.
They had a nice run, 4 months.
But Pretty Deadly is just fun to me. Pretty Deadly is just fun.
They are. Yes, boy, for sure. Yeah, I'm glad somebody picked them. That's why I had to bring them up. Again, chat, thanks for the support. Thank you. We'll move on. What are we at here? Oh, okay. One of our favorite categories here. Yeah, we'll do that here because I think wrestling should be later. We're gonna go to one of our favorite, always most heated. That's always gonna get a lot of comments and complaints. We're going to match of the year. A real tough category this year, I'd say. There's a lot of great matches all across. I mean, we're spoiled this day. Like I said, like any show you could tune on every week, there's probably like a crazy match that we wouldn't have seen years ago on. Yeah, that's a tough one, I know. But whatever comes to the top of your head, that's fine. Like I said, if you want to put a couple in, some honorable mentions, we can talk about that for sure.
What do you have?
Coming for the comment. Apparently disputing my pick, but okay, that's fine. I thought they did more with the titles than anybody else that had them this year. Because Uso, that was just that. Once they had it, they were main eventing Raw a lot of week with the tag titles, so that's why I picked them. And actually, one of their match they had when they lost the titles at what was that Payback in the street fight against the Judgment Day. I thought it was a really cool match.
You can kickstart this one. Who do you have?
Oh, you want to pick me? Okay, I got you. Okay, that's all right. I'll go. For sure. I've had a lot of. I've gone back and forth on this. If I had a list of top 3, I'll do that here to make it easier since we don't go through all that. There's a lot of great matches. Like I mentioned the triple threat at WrestleMania before for the IC title. A lot of people have that as match of the year. WWE had a list of matches I didn't even think of. Gunther against Chad Gable on Raw. That was a cool honorable mention. Even the match with Miz last night. Gunther definitely one of the top wrestlers of the year. Man, it's tough. Okay, I'll give my top 3. We're going to be fair here. Number 3. Now, like I said, Kevin and Sammy versus Usos could very well be on my list here. They probably would be in my top 5, but I'm gonna be fair here, and something people didn't talk about. And since shout out to one of the competitors in this match who recently had a tough injury, is gonna be out for 9 months. But my number 3 match of the year would be Rhea Ripley against Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania Night 1.
Okay.
I thought, and I've watched it back again recently. I thought it was one of the best matches of the year, men or women, in WWE for sure. I know Charlotte, people get tired of her, but she's one heck of a wrestler. And that match was pretty crazy. Even though she was supposed to be babyface, the crowd was really into Rhea, of course. But yeah, and again, tough luck on Charlotte getting needing knee surgery. She's going to be out at least 9 months. So we probably we may see her after the summer. Hopefully, she heals up pretty quickly.
Night 1 was stacked.
Yeah, it was stacked for sure. That's why I said you could pick like that, the tag title match. A lot of people like Ray and Dominic. There was a lot of good matches on the night. Unfortunately, Cena and Austin Theory wasn't one of them, even though we were looking forward to that. But I thought everything was pretty good that night. Even those showcase matches that we thought were stupid, like the men's tag team showcase match.
I had so much fun with the men's showcase tag
that was nuts, right? That could be on this list for sure. Let's see. Good. We're getting some comments. Kevin says Seth and Logan Paul for sure. That was another one on night 1 that was pretty crazy. I mean, that show was stacked. We had Logan and Ricochet this year. There was a lot of crazy matches. Geez, we can go on and on with all this. Like I said, some of these matches that came out of nowhere. But yeah, that's I'm going Rhea and Charlotte. But yeah, you could pick a lot of those matches. Bad Bunny and Damian Priest in Backlash in Puerto Rico.
Another fun match.
So that's something that flirted with being match of the year for me. And I'm being all serious. That was a heck of a fun match, and then the Carlito and everything. That was pretty, and of course the crowd was nuts. So that was pretty close too. If I had a top 5, that's definitely in there. So my number 2 match of the year. See, I went back and forth on this, and my winner's probably going to be. Oh, we got more stuff. I love this. I love this.
There you go.
Io and Bianca Belair, definitely underrated.
Honestly, I
sleeper
can't
match.
remember the crowd. I can't remember the crowd being more into a match than that match this year.
And they were really behind Io in that match too.
Yeah.
Obviously they were.
I think Curvin might have just.
Yeah, Curvin's got it.
Got me to say my match of the year.
Oh, you're gonna agree with him there? Okay.
I got to agree. I have never been behind a match so much watching live.
Yeah.
That was
maybe we'll get it. Maybe we'll get it again at WrestleMania. Who knows?
That was an amazing match.
Curvin's got it. Oh, he's getting all the stuff. Yeah, that was another underrated match. We had a lot of fun women's matches this year for sure. Becky and Trish in the steel cage for sure. Trish still killing it years later. We had Becky against Tiffany, their feud. That could have been feud of the year for a lot of people. So I'm going back. I went back and forth, and probably because I was there live, it's gonna sway me, but it's pretty close. I know JML has let me know what his match of the year is, and it's on my list for sure. And all right, I'm gonna put that. You know what? No, I'm gonna flip it. I'm gonna be fair. I'm gonna say because that match is gonna be most remembered. My number 2, I was there live, was Kenny Omega against Will Ospreay, their second match at Forbidden Door in Toronto. Okay. Me not being a biggest New Japan fan, but what I've seen of Ospreay, he kills it all the time. I know he's had a heck of a year. He's probably had like 12, 15 5-star matches this year, if you go by that. But that one in Toronto was pretty crazy. It was like 40 minutes plus. Nutty, like the closing sequence was insane. It's probably my match of the year, but I'm gonna flip it here. I've been saying it all year that probably would have been my match of the year, but we had something most recently that's going to top it, and I'm going to agree with JML here. I'm going to go to Full Gear. We had Hangman Page against Swerve Strickland in the Texas Death Match. Insane match, nuts.
I just can't believe booking in that match.
Yeah, it was wild. I mean, the only thing I could say why I was kind of tough about making it my match of the year is because it kind of went up maybe 10 minutes too long, and then we got a little kind of funky at the end with some interference. But as far as a match that just actually lived up to the story of the hatred and the anger, I thought it played off really well. A lot of people, I know you said booking, a lot of people were surprised at the finish, but it actually makes a lot of sense for what they were going for. And what it's actually done is basically it's turning Swerve into a big baby face, and that's going to come out of this, I think. So because of that, I'm putting it as my match of the year because it was his breakout match. And they had a good match the month before at Wrestle Dream, which I thought was the match of that show. But this one, I mean, I know we don't love all this blood and violence matches. Maybe when we were younger, we were into this. We always talk about we're tired of all this kind of stuff. But this needed it. Yeah, exactly. Even that way, within the context of the feud and the story they're telling, it made sense. Even if it was pretty sickening. I mean, the man broke into his house. He scared his child. Like you should be wanting to literally make him bleed, and I don't know, with drinking blood, whatever. Insane. That's you'll do crazy things.
Swerve one after that is insane.
Right, but exactly. But I thought because of the fact that he got all that comeuppance, I thought him winning did not hurt Hangman there, and it's not as bad as the booking, like you would say if you thought about it offhand, like, oh, the babyface is going to get beat up. I mean, lose after all that. I'm like, yeah, he lost, but he really did a lot of damage, and it was more Swerve survived it than he won it. Both men came up looking good, and Hangman kind of needed it after a tough year he's had. He's kind of been aimless since he lost the title back to Punk, and that was going on 2 years ago. But yeah, that was a good feud, and like I said, that match was probably something some people are gonna remember. So that's why I'm picking it. It's gonna be remembered for a long time. A lot of these matches we talk about are gonna be forgotten because there's so many great matches every week, right? But that's something that's not gonna be forgotten, especially the drink blood. See what Kerman's got there. Yeah, exactly.
Well, Tony Khan doesn't know what the fuck he's doing, so.
I mean, it's now or never with him. Like he's been there almost 2 years. They've got him over to this point. He's getting over his baby. You got to run with it. They ran with it with MJF as a babyface. They're keeping that, so you got to run with him. We can get there. There's still time, but you kind of have to. If he doesn't win the title this year, then he really is messing up for sure. We've talked all year long about our list of grievances with what Tony Khan's been doing this year, but so far so good. Let's cross our fingers on that one. Okay, so we'll go to our top awards here. We got about 15 minutes till NXT starts, so let's go to our top awards of the year. We're going to go to our wrestlers of the year. So we'll start with men. We'll let the main event. They deserve the main event here. We're going to go with male wrestler of the year for 2023. I know last year I think we both had Seth Rollins as number one, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So we'll see if he is able to repeat here. Do you have something in mind, Charlie? You looking at something?
Just DVRing NXT.
Oh, you make sure you DVR. Yeah. You got to tell me. I know this year was, like I said, Ospreay had a lot of crazy matches. There's a lot of good matches, a lot of good wrestlers this year. It's always crowded, this list. MJF's had a good year, even though it's been more story based, but he's been getting over crazy as a babyface. So why not? So what do you think? Who are you picking this year? Are we getting a repeat? Or are we getting somebody new? We've had if we go by longevity, I think Cody had the most matches in WWE this year, and Dom had the second most. So underrated there. I'll give Dom a shout out here just for being one of the MVPs.
That's the thing. If I go with my heart, it's Cody Rhodes. If I go with,
you can go with, like I said, I don't always go by just best matches. Like, who do you think has had the best year? It's like it's a combination. I like it could be kayfabe, it could be true. It's like the PWI awards. We got to go like you could put like we have the PWI 500. It's not always who was the best wrestler, who had the best year.
Yeah.
So that's if you want to make it easier. Okay, what do you think had the best year? Cody had a heck of a year.
See,
but he didn't win any titles. He won the tag titles.
I'm the Rumble. I'm stuck between Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. It could easily be Seth Rollins again because he's had a hell of a year. But yes,
Curvin is going with Dominic Mysterio best year. Hey, I wouldn't begrudge you for that. He's like I said, MVP, second most matches in the company, going on every brand. And we were there live there. You saw how the crowd reacts to him. They boo it they hate that man.
I'm gonna switch it up from last year and choose Cody Rhodes.
He's going with Cody. Probably helps that he met him and called him baby, but that's all right. Yeah. We'll take that. As far as me, Seth had a great. We had a lot of people years. It's been so much of a year. But it's tough because, like I said, a lot of these people are dominant champs. MJF was champ over a year. If you want to go kayfabe wise, you could say him. Like I said, Will Ospreay's had a heck of a year. But since this is our show, we don't play by what everybody else's rules go. We're gonna go our way. So, all right, we'll put it this way. I'm just gonna go with someone I enjoy just watching every time he has a match. And my pick for Wrestler of the Year 2023, the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion in history, the Ring General.
Okay. See, that's fair too.
The man doesn't have a bad match. Even that little short thing he had with Riddle wasn't too bad. So yeah, I'm going with it just for consistency, and just because when he's having a match, I want to watch it.
Okay.
I can say the same thing about Dragunov on NXT. When he has a match, I want to watch it. Obviously, so yeah, I'm going with Gunther. That's my pick this year. Seth definitely is still up there in my top three for sure. Just because he continues to be a workhorse MVP. He made a new title relevant. It needed it, and he just went out there and made it, and just stayed there consistently all year long. Maybe you didn't think
his Rumble performance was insane.
Yeah. Yeah. So like I said, Rollins and Gunther both. Yeah, and Dominic will definitely be on my list too for one of the best of the year. I know the haters beware. He's come all the way this year. He put it all together.
It was a great year for Dominic.
Just re-signed a new deal with WWE. So congrats to Dominic. Hey, lock him up. He's gonna be on the start. I said he's gonna be on his own eventually. He's gonna make it. he's getting the in-ring reps now. He's getting better. Maybe he won't be his father in the ring, but he's got everything else down, and he's got the mic skill. He's got the charisma. He's got the crowd. They really hate this guy. So that tends to mean that when he does finally turn back, he will also be beloved again. So we'll see about that. But yeah, what a year for him and Judgment Day for real. Really, a lot of people are saying, why are they always on the show? I said, because they draw numbers and they always bring it.
SmackDown's got the Bloodline. Raw's got Judgment Day.
Yes, that's and now we've got R-Truth as the Sammy to the Roman and the other storyline, if you will, or James Jey Uso definitely on the list too for having a heck of a year in breaking out. I mean, he's done it before, but this is the year he finally broke out as a top babyface. So good for Jey. Jimmy's and Solo, of course, continues to be strong. They silently building. He's pretty much being silently built as a killer still.
Yeah,
taking out Cena. I mean, he lost a few matches this year, but he hasn't looked bad. And when they're ready to push him, he's gonna be a big star. You really know it. All right, so that's our male wrestler year. So we're gonna end it with our women's wrestler of the year, female wrestler of the year. A lot of good choices you could pick here. We talked a lot of big matches. Big time Bex definitely had a great year. I don't think she had a bad match this year. She just killed it continuously in the ring and going down to NXT and helping out. Tiffany Stratton took a big step forward this year. Definitely these are stars of the future for sure. So what do you think, Charlie? What are you going to pick here? We can pick anybody. Yeah. Like I said, across the shows, we had a lot of great women's wrestlers out there. Even in AEW, even though he may not always do the best utilization, but they're there.
Without a shadow of a doubt, Io Sky.
Oh, there you go. He's going right to it. Okay. Io Sky, what a year. We talked about her backlash match. I was there at SummerSlam when she cashed in. That was a cool moment. I was glad to be there. Hopefully that I think now that we got the damage control, the new members, everything, I think it's going to work well. Yeah, okay. So Charlie's going with Io Sky. All right. I'll take it. For me, it's got to be Rhea. It's got to be Rhea. Maybe not in ring wise, but she's dominant. But like as far as a star, she's she's pretty much the star of Raw.
Yeah,
we talk about Judgment Day, but she's like the star. I mean, we talk about Dominic, but as far as who's
really the leader on my list, but I just have more fun.
Like who is like the main person? We talk about who's the leader. Well, who's the one that's always out in front, doing whatever, and just being a star for the company. So that's why I'm picking her. I think. Like I said, that match with Charlotte, she's had a couple good matches. It's been more of a dominant reign, so she may not have like all these 5-star matches, but she could, and she has. So that's why I still stand by that pick. But Io had a underrated year. Good for her finally getting a chance to do that. It's been a year of change, like I said. We're still getting used to the new regime, and this is a little different than it was last year because it's more permanent. So, yeah. And down in NXT, of course, we could have picked a lot of them, like because Sean's cooking down there too with his booking. So it's been a good year for WWE. Let's be honest. People are gonna ask why we're picking them most from the awards. It's been a great year for them. As far as attendance, money wise, the merger went through a lot of acclaimed PLEs. Most of them were very popular this year. Yeah, they're hot right now. Yeah. I wouldn't say botch. It's just that she's a dominant. She's like stronger than all the women there, so it's tough to have a reign.
She doesn't need the title at this point.
Yeah, she's above the title. That's the problem. She's so strong. She like we had China back in the day. She really could compete for the IC title right now. It'd be believable, and if they did it,
yeah,
they don't. Because there's like nobody that's on her level besides like a Becky, besides maybe a Bianca who's on the other show. Maybe we'll see that match at Mania. We don't know yet, but. I mean, it's either that. To me, it's either Becky or Bianca that would have that shot, and probably Becky at this point. I don't know what you think, but I guess we'll talk about that. We have plenty of time to talk about that. We haven't gotten to the Rumble season yet. Like I said, we'll see who wins the Rumble. Charlotte going out probably throws some wrenches in that plan because all this past week the damage control, all the dissension seemed to be away, but I think we're still going back to that. I think we were building to some sort of reunion with Bayley leaving Judgment Day. With leaving Damage Control, but I think that's going to happen anyway. So we'll see. We'll have plenty of time to talk about that. Like I said, we're getting on the road to WrestleMania here. This is the end of the year coming up, so there'll be a lot of news coming out of that for sure. We'll talk about that when we get to preview the Rumble, but stay tuned, guys. Stay tuned. What else we got here? Thanks again for the comments. We appreciate it, Kervin. We appreciate Johnny Cena. We appreciate you guys coming in. Yeah. Any other honorable mentions, notes you want to throw in for the year, Charlie? Any favorite moments?
It's been a great year for WWE, for AEW. To be a wrestling fan is just, we're spoiled.
We are spoiled right now, for sure. Charlie, even watching NXT now regularly. He wasn't doing it at the beginning of the year, so they've won him back. Yeah, it's been NXT is actually one of my favorite shows every week. It's pretty solid. Maybe it doesn't always have the top matches, but as far as the booking wise, the storytelling is pretty solid. But we're getting it across the board. AEW are always going to have good matches. I mean, their booking has been kind of weird this year, to say the least. I mean, I've always had their issues with that, but this year has been kind of bizarre. They've had a lot of bad luck this year with injuries and such. So I can't give 100% be mad at TK here.
Best return of the year. Best return of the year, CM Punk. You don't know me. Hi, I'm Charlie.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's why I didn't even bother putting that as a category.
CM Punk.
And don't ask if he means his Collision return or if he means his Survivor Series return, because you know which one he means.
Yes.
But he did have 2 returns this year. And it's funny, we did get to see him at NXT and Charlie was in his glory. For sure.
I got to see Shawn Michaels and CM Punk in the same ring. That was phenomenal.
Why not? What a year it's been for sure. Because thinking of that for sure. And think about it. Like I said, I saw Punk wrestle in Toronto his second week back on Collision, and then I saw him to end the year in Bridgeport talking to Shawn Michaels in the ring while wearing his Bret Hart hoodie. So what a difference in just several months. But that's how it is. That's how these years go. Things change. Who knows what we'll be talking about this time next year?
Definitely.
Like I said, MJF saying that he still hasn't signed a new contract. I don't know if I believe that, but we'll see where in 12 months from now, we'll see where everybody is. Who knows by then? It's going to be a wild ride come up. And hopefully this WrestleMania is looking pretty epic. And the card is probably going to be really stacked this year. We talked about this year, but this one's looking like an all-timer. And this time I think they'll probably get it right for both nights even.
Yeah.
It's going to be pretty insane. We're going to have a great time in Philly. Hopefully, if anybody's coming, let us know because we'll be there if you want to come hang out for sure.
We should meet up and do a live show.
We probably should do something, right? We could do that. We can do something.
Okay.
We can do something down there. If anybody wants to come hang out, we can do something. We'll at least do some kind of road diary, some kind of special thing that we can put up on the show. It'd be a live preview, something hanging out in the parking lot over there at the link. Yeah, so that'll be coming up. So stay tuned there. Again, thank you, chat, especially you, Kervin. Thank you for the input. That really helps, and it's good to know what everybody's thinking out there. So let us know if you watch this back and on the replay. Let us know what you thought of our picks. Put your picks. Call us wrong, whatever you want. That's why we're here.
You'd be wrong, but you can call us wrong.
It's been a crazy year. We've been here a lot. It's something that we had a little bit of a skip there, but we're still here. So it's been a wild year. Like I said, we've been up and down and up and around, and then this business continues to be crazy. So thank you for sticking with us this year. It's been a fun year.
1,000 subs.
Yes. Thank you again for the continued subs. Thank you for the support of our show here. Thank you for the support of the channel. All JML's great breaks he's got going on. Yeah, so continue your support. We appreciate it. Like, share, subscribe. Leave us a comment. Join in some of these card breaks that JML is doing. They're a lot of fun. One of these days, all three of us will be back, and so we'll let you know, or it'll be a surprise. But again, hopefully we'll do some throwback shows coming up or something like that. Let us know if we got Rumble coming up. Maybe we'll do a Rumble throwback review. I don't know. We'll do a look back. Let us know which one you would like to hear about. There's a lot of them, so you can let us know.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that later, of course. It's been what? We're going to 2020. Well, we could talk about. We could have a 30-year reunion special of the 1994 Royal Rumble. Can't believe that's gonna be 30 years ago already.
Wow.
I don't think we've talked about that one yet. I don't think we have talked about that one yet. No. So maybe we will. We'll think about it. Let us know, guys, in the comments what you think we should do. And yeah, so hopefully sometime next week we'll try to get a quick World's End preview in, and we'll let you know if we're probably going to be at the show. We didn't get that settled yet, but we'll let you know if you guys want to meet up there. If anybody's going to World's End, let us know. Long Island. Hopefully by then my allergies will be better. I won't sound so nasal. But hey, we're still here. Shout out to all you guys for all the support.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much. Charlie, thank you for sticking with me this year. It's been a fun time.
Thank you. It's been awesome. And JML, thank you.
JML, thank you. We love you. Hopefully we'll be back together soon on here, but we wish you continued success here on the channel. And we'll see you guys next week. Yeah, so have a great week. Enjoy the holiday if you celebrate. If you don't, have a great weekend. We'll see you before the new year. So thanks again. Peace. Shout out my boys at Poison Run on chopped-tees.com if you want to see some cool merchandise. Shout out Dickie Bird. Thanks again, guys. We'll see you next week.